up and put it down. The lady of the house decorated the teepee. And one of the common pigments in Hot Springs or Eureka or Texas, wherever you're from, they all have them. And they're called pokeberries. They're kind of a purplish red berry. Goes in the pigment in your skin, much like tattoo ink. You won't wash it off with lava soap. You're not going to wash it off with Dawn. You're not going to wash it off with anything. It's going to wear off. And they would touch their ponies. You've seen pictures of Indians' ponies with handprints on there. And you've seen teepees. And that's one of the many pigments they used. And a lot of times the father of the tribe, if he gave away one of his daughters in marriage, oftentimes their wedding present or their gift was a pony. So, you know, that'd be quite a deal. That'd be like getting a car today. So that'd be quite a gift to have. You guys are starting to see the lake, Beaver Lake. You're looking at a tiny portion of it though, real tiny portion. The lake is actually covers over 500 square miles, covers 4 counties, and some of the places borderline 300 feet deep. And we also have the water clarity good enough to scuba dive in. I myself am a diver, and right now we're in the middle of spear season. Catfish, got to be over 14 inches long. No bass. You get caught spearing a bass, game and fish will strip you of everything you've got. I certainly wouldn't want to take that risk. But now this lake was flooded way back in 1964. Yes, I was alive then, and dinosaurs were still roaming the earth.
What?
And they dammed up the White River, they as in the Corps of Engineers, and they formed a hydroelectric dam up there in Carroll County. It's on the other side of Eureka there. Now, when they did that, had you seen aerial photography of before and after, you'd also know that's not all they dammed up. They dammed up thousands of underground springs and creeks. I myself discovered 3 underwater caves right over this mountain here.
Squirrel!
Wow! A squirrel! Thought you saw a unicorn or something there for a minute. Good Lord, a squirrel! Woo! Wow! What are you going to do? Never mind. That freaked me out so bad I don't even know what to say next. Okay. All right. Water. That's how our cave was formed, by water. Lots of water. Now guys, imagine that mountain over there on the other side of War Eagle Mill. Imagine an ocean coming over the top of that thing. Because see, that's what happened when Noah's Ark and the flood occurred. I know everybody knows that story. Ironically, I do get people from other countries that come in here, don't have a clue as to what I'm talking about. Well, that's how old the cavern is, and that's how it was formed. That much water is going to do exactly as it wants to. We commonly refer to that as an unstoppable force of nature. Now this cavern goes in for over 5 miles. 4.5 miles are mapped out. The map is up in the gift shop as soon as you walk through the front door on the left. It took us over 5 months to make that map. Now, speaking of all that water, we actually have a boat dock down here. You can see it, it's red and white. The people tie up down here and come through the cavern. The closest boat launch is right over this mountain here. It's called Rambo Launch. When you go up to 12 Highway, instead of hitting the highway, you take a right, you'll be on Rambo Road. And yes, it's spelled just like the Sylvester Stallone movies. It's a clear water boat launch. You can swim there, you can snorkel there. Scuba diving, however, is illegal at all boat launches in America. On the other side of the coin, it's a felony to get within 300 meters of any red and white dive flag as well. Any kind of ski-doo or jet ski, it keeps people on the surface and down underneath all safe at the same time. Now, we talked about the closest boat launch. Little girl, what's your name? Little girls. You can touch these fossils here. That's a copiapod. Been extinct for millions of years. These are crinoid fossils up here. This is just offering evidence of how Arkansas was underneath the ocean for millions of years, guys. Hard evidence, rock hard evidence.
Dinosaurs are really interesting.
We'll show you a crinoid fossil in the ceiling of the cave. It's been up there for millions of years. It's the whole body. It's probably about 14 inches long. It's going to look like a big old earthworm, because that's what they were. They were real simple creatures, and they weren't male or female. They were asexual, so there was millions of these things all over the ocean floor.
That'd be great fishing bait.
Yeah. Cave crickets make good fish bait too. Cave crickets have been around for millions of years too. Now, Devil's Gap. That's what you look for on the Beaver Lake map. Why Devil's Gap? This canyon back here has been called Devil's Gap way before Beaver Lake was ever dreamed of. Because the people on the... This may be for me. We'll have to wait and see. Nope, it's not for me. The reason this place is called Devil's Gap, the people on the other side of the moonshine still used to refer to it as the Devil's Juice. So that's why it has been and always has been and always will be called Devil's Gap. And that's what you'd look for. And it's right around the mountain there from Rambo Launch. So I've told you we're the closest boat launch and how to find us on the map. That picketed trail will take you down to the boat dock. You're going to see lots of big fish here. I don't know why they hang out. There's a fish feeder here right behind me. So don't let those fish distract you. When we come out of the cave, if you guys are interested in feeding those fish.
Ooh, a turtle.
Yeah, turtle.
Turtle.
A little bit better reaction than the squirrel. A turtle! Yeah, there's a debris field down here, guys, and it's actually about 400 tons down there. Why can't you see 400 tons? Well, that's an easy one. It's got 3 stories of water up on top of it.
I see fishes.
This debris came out of a tunnel that we blasted out over 2.5 years ago. As far back as the 1800s, folks had to crawl on their stomachs to get to the other end of this tunnel. Once I get everybody through this gate, we'll shut it. So you can take your time, get up there when you're getting ready to do so. Well, thank you, Mr. Phil. No problem. How are you guys?
Just a little bit more.
Milder. Appreciate that, everybody. You're welcome. And guys, you're starting to see caves all around you. Animals use them to give birth in. In fact, that rock bluff across the...
Where? Oh my God, it's a snake. It's so pretty and I love it.
Oh, great.
Where?
Right there.
Is it in the tree?
No, it's in the cave right
it's
there.
in the cave. Yeah,
It's like coming out.
There is a snake hanging out of the rock.
I see it.
It ain't gonna get you. It's up there.
It's up there. Nothing can hurt you.
Maybe it's hung up. Hopefully so.
That's so
Too
neat.
bad I don't have my pistol with me.
No, they're my babies.
I did shoot a snake in front of some tourists one day. Sure did. Had folks running through their cars up the parking lot. Triple tapped him with a Glock.
Oh, wow.
I was in the Army for a while too. I can shoot. Poor little snake. Oh, hope he's
No,
not
Kristen,
hung
you're
up.
not going to help it.
I will love it forever.
No, we're not going to climb. We're not going to help it.
Let nature take its course.
We're not going to do anything to it. But now if he gets down here on the trail, I will give him an old-fashioned Bible Stony. I guarantee you.
Ooh, look at that snake.
Especially if he's a pit viper. Pit vipers, we get school children out here by the thousands. It just doesn't make any sense to have snakes like that around.
You can't.
Right through here, guys, notice the cave I'm pointing my flashlight at. That's where the mother fox has her babies every year. I think they're called kits. Now, the only thing that changes about that is the color of the babies. Some years they're gray, like last year she had 3 baby grays. Year before she had 1 red fox, we named him Chestnut. And he got just about domesticated. We're going to move out of the sunlight because I don't want my tourists staying here getting burned up. Of course, you know, I'm always in these caves. I might just burst into flames. You never know. There is a man that burst into flames in Fayetteville in his car 2 weeks ago, so don't think it can't happen.
Okay.
It can and does happen.
Oh, it's so cold. That feels amazing.
Well, guys, notice the air coming out of my cave here. Feels pretty cool. Before we go in, We're going to talk a little bit about that little walnut tree there, which we've had tested by the Forestry Service with the core ring test. Now, by the way, she is the matriarch, great-grandmother, however you want to put it, to all of the walnut trees in this whole canyon here. And she's over 150 years old. Now, before we go into the cave, we're going to go back in time and bring you forward. As far back as the Paleo people and primitive man, we found bones underneath this drip line, just about parallel with that walnut tree. They are in the display case up in the gift shop. Now last week, I found an axe up here that's in the display case up in the gift shop. There's axes, notcher stones, chisels, drills, bird points, spears, you name it. This 26 acres here is covered with artifacts. The Indians were chopping and cutting anything you can think of. Boat paddles, spears, atlatls, canoes, tent poles, you name it. Now after they were here, the Osage took over. The Osage gave way to the Cherokee tribe known as the War Eagle. They gave way to Frank and Jesse James and their gang. They gave way to a family named Wishon that stayed here during the Great Depression. Stayed up here in the council room and made moonshine. Moonshine is made as recently as 1978 in this cave, but I guarantee you one thing, it's being made right now. Not in this cave. It's being made.
Moonshiners.
Now, you get an entranceway like this, guys, that you can drive a semi-truck up inside of, and boulders pushed out the front like this. We're talking about the aftermath of gigantic amounts of water, huge amounts of water. Water cave. Back to a little 5-year-old girl last week on my tour. At the end of the tour, she said, "Sir, do you know how many times you said water on your tour?" I said, "No." She said, "A bunch." So it's quite funny. Everybody got 8 steps to go up here into the council room.
You got to scoot over so people can get up.
And whatever you guys got to take pictures with is welcome. iPhones, iPads, actual cameras, anything. Be just fine.
Don't let
And
me get a rock.
in fact, they should be out and ready at this point on. Yeah, everything's going to be all wet and drippy and moist, and you're going to get a drop or two of